We're already going through troubles. I can sense it. Put my water. So I don't have as much time as I usually have today because my husband has an appointment. So I'm going to just hop right in. Thank you so much for coming to the opening of the Gateway 3 Sacred Movements. We're going to start today with our Womb Wellness Journey dance to the song Obscure Promises. I forget who sings that, but I'll put it on and we'll just get dancing and feeling ourselves, feel the moves. I'll go over them once slowly, and then it's like a long song, so we'll get into this. Let's see, it's Tale of Us, Obscure Promises. I don't know which one of those. I'm guessing Tale of Us is actually the name of the song. I don't even know. I don't know, y'all. All right, let me see. So for this one where we start up, what is this move called? It is the Healer Within. So we're centering ourselves. And our feet should be together actually while we're doing this one. Let me turn this up. We're going to open up into the ancients. This is like a calling to our ancestors. If you've done this one with me before, you already know. So our heels are together, our feet are out, and our knees are bent and out. We're calling our ancestors to us, our bloodline to us. Next we have the 4 directions. It's a protection, so we're holding our womb while we do it in all 4 directions. And we end up in this position, for Womb Divine. And this can take you all the way down, or you can stay up, however you feel. But you're just feeling your womb energy, you protected it, you understand the power that you have within you. And this is the one that I named the dance after. So this is the wellness journey. We are just moving through life, aware of the energy that we possess, and utilizing it for our strength. So that was Womb Wellness Journey. And you end that open at World Womb Wellness. So our hands are up. And again, you can go as low as you want. I'm a little sore. I've been like doing too much in my daily life lately. And I've been feeling like moving more lately since we've been doing our food cleansing, drinking more smoothies, incorporating more green into the diet. So that is the end. When you finish with this one and you get all low and you get your hips moving and you feel good about your world womb wellness, you rise again, up, center yourself with the Healer Within. And now we can just start the dance. You already know the dance now. We'll get started, should I say. Patience. We'll protect our womb. Our womb is divine. Move as slow or as fast as you feel called to. Let your body and your womb connect. And we're going to go on our womb wellness journey. And open up into World Womb Wellness. Let's go back and center. Okay, so that's all I have time for today, sadly, was just this one. But next time we're going to be getting more into the womb yoga. So we're going to be doing like a hardcore womb yoga flow as the sister circle. So we're going to be focusing more on the movement. But I did want to open the gateway and do all of that wonderful stuff. So for just a moment. I'm gonna drink my water. Okay. Let me move this part out, and I'm gonna move you all down. That way I can. I've got this whole like funky setup with like a can of like paint primer. Hold on. Make sure we don't get lost together over here. And then let's see what I can do here. I'm hoping this works out. All right, let me know if I'm like way too loud and I need to like move this microphone. Okay, so sacred and divine Bess, awaken the ancient dancer in me to allow sacred movement to set my spirit free. May sacred movement leap me into pure acceleration and stretch me to star Sirius in my inner galaxy. May my dance flush out my arteries, pump oxygen into my heart and my brain, detoxify my blood, lubricate my joints, and liberate my spirit. May my sacred movements bring my soul to life, my mind to rest, my heart to balance, and my being to light. Hetepu. All praise and adoration to the spiritual guardian, Bess, the protector of sacred movement. Ashe. All praise and adoration to the ancestors, the mothers of sacred movement, Josephine Baker and Pearl Primus. Ashe. All praise and adoration to the elders of sacred movements, Catherine Dunham and Carmen de Lavallade. Ashe. All praise and adoration to my divine self and my contemporary divine sisters, Judith Jameson, Debbie Allen, and Queen Esther, who honor sacred movements. Ashe. Let's take a moment now to think of any personal ancestors that or ancestral energies that you would like to call by name or by energy to accompany you through this new gateway of sacred movement, as well as your overall journey of reconnecting with the ancestors and your own divine sacred path. Ashe. All right. So we have opened our gateway. We've begun our gateway of sacred movement. I hope last week's gateway closed out well for you. As always, I hope we're just about making those choices, those everyday choices that make you feel better about yourself, not worse about yourself. Finding those ways to improve around your home. I cleaned my kitchen super deep last week. I was so happy with it. Now I need to go shopping, but I definitely cleaned out my fridge. I got rid of anything old, anything that I thought I had already gone through and thrown away anything that had been there from my apartment had been used as an Airbnb before I got here. And I thought I went through the fridge and had thrown it away, but still I found olives and little things that I had not. And, it was funny. Someone, I forget your name, but on Patreon, you said like, the fridge inspiration I posted, everyone had such nice fridges, and I totally agree. When I went to clean my fridge, I was like, Pinterest versus reality for sure. There's nothing, like Pinterest to inspire you, and then you reach your own house and you're like, this is not anything anywhere close. So I totally agree with that sentiment. I was like, gosh, I managed to clean out my fridge, but I didn't really manage to make it sacred. I didn't really manage to find a way to creatively enhance the inside so that it's pleasing when you open it. Because, I don't know, I thought that would be pretty and that would be fun, but I'm thinking about it. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out what I can do to make the inside of the fridge, a nice experience. Maybe I'll just go get like a flower every morning to help that out. You know what I mean? So let's see. We have I did want to go ahead and read you what was I going to read you from over here? I'm going to read you guys this stuff like next week. I did want to talk about, don't forget to, be writing in your womb journal if you have one, trying to find time in the week just to write down your thoughts. Even if it is not a womb journal, if it's just another type of writing method, just to be flowing through these thoughts, especially when you're trying to go through a sacred journey or a spiritual journey. It's really helpful to be able to, have your thoughts be flowing, have your thoughts be something that you're considering, have them, when you have those amazing like revelations, those little revelations, when you read your sacred woman book or when you listen to something or when you are just thinking, you're thinking in general about whatever's been going on in your life or whatever topic has been going on around you, if you have those thoughts, taking the time to just write them down real quick, jot them down. It doesn't have to always be a like planned thing. Making sure, if you always have just a little tiny journal on you and you write those little thoughts down and you make sure you commit to that, finding those ways to really process your thoughts will also be wonderful for you later on when you're looking back on your journey and you're trying to understand things and you're trying to reflect. And then sometimes, you'll write something super profound and you'll come back to it later and be like, wow, that was something I was thinking at the time. And it's reaffirming for you, later on in your journey in that way as well. We have the color for Gateway Orange is Gateway, the movement for Sacred Movement Gateway is orange. So, for vitality, orange, it does get you moving. It's definitely one of those colors that is supposed to get you energized and ready to start what you're doing. So if you're trying to connect more with this gateway throughout this month, wear some orange, be purposeful about bringing a little bit of orange into your life so that you can really connect with that further. Again, I want to remind about the quilt or project, the artistic side of what you're doing, the artistic expression of this journey that you're going through with yourself. I've been progressing, but it's like not anything that anyone would want to see. It's not to the point where I could really show it to someone and they'd be like, yeah, that's a cool project. It's still at the phases of like, this is my pile of supplies and this is like this pile of where I'm working on this. So, it's not anything yet, but I'm really excited about sharing with you, and I'm really excited about buckling down this week because last night I took my last final. I turned in my last assignment for school, so I don't have anything to do. I have, obviously I have children and I have a life, but I don't have anything homework related to do. And, all those little assignments, watching YouTube videos and giving my analysis is over for right now. So I'm really excited about that and grateful for that. So yeah, and I'm going to be working on my quilt, my freedom, my version of, not the freedom quilt necessarily, but, I had said I wanted to make 2 quilts by the end of this year, or, the sessions that we do this year. I wanted one that is reflective of the journey of a conjure woman, of an ancestral venerator, should I say, ancestral venerator, just generally. And then on the other hand, I want the other quilt to be on the nature veneration side. So I wanted both to be, some sort of symbol of, this journey that we go through where we're, merging our spirituality with sacred womanhood. So that is also like part of the underlying theme. So anyways, yes, I am very excited about doing that and excited about sharing it with you guys. Hopefully something next week. Hopefully, after all this stuff I just talked about, having extra time, I'll be able to share some of that with you. So the tool for this month is your body. It's a sacred body temple that is ready to perform, that is ready to commit to the movements, commit to getting better, commit to not being too embarrassed, or being too lazy or being too intimidated. There's so many reasons, right, why we would rather be spectators. It's also kind of ingrained in this culture, right? In African culture, they say if you can walk, you can dance, or, and everybody, that means anybody, you know what I mean? And you're like, okay, if you can walk, you can dance, that's wonderful. In this Western society, in this Eurocentric society, it's like, if you're not a professional, please sit down and let the ballerinas ballet. That's like their attitude about dancing. And it's like they have a lot of strict rules about it. They've been very repressive about it. They, let somebody shake half a hip and it's way too sexual, and the kids, everything's going down. So it's just like finding that way of releasing that and releasing a lot of these other cultures, because even I know in, like, the Christian church, we experience that. And like the praise dancers, I always see them getting like the side eye, like, oh, are you doing this because you just want to dance, or are you doing this for the Lord? And like, don't do this, don't do that. And like one time I found these awesome wings that I thought were moth wings. I was like, are these just like a super expensive moth wing? No, they are not. They are angel wings. And moth wings are something that temptresses use. And these, if you'll notice, have a point at the tip. So they are angel, and it's like having to release that type of mindset when you're just attempting to connect with your body temple, see your body as a temple in a way that is not degrading or repressive, in a way that's liberating for you. So, for you, that could be working with the angels and being very modest and doing all of those things, but finding it in a way that's like empowering, that's not putting other women down, that's not seeing other people as less than for not, being what empowers you. I think, it's very difficult to shed that. So this idea of, having this body temple that's ready and willing to transform, ready and willing to perform, ready and willing to change and grow, and willing to be accepting of what it is at this moment. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, well, I would dance, but I have this and this and this issue going on. Because I was doing that too. Especially when I started, I was like, like I would dance like with other people, or, for other people, but why would I ever do that? I'm not a professional. I'm not that great. I like I mess up because, my body is like, it doesn't do what I want it to do all the time. I'm weak, all those things, and we're all, of course, we're not going to be like modern dancers who do all this crazy contortionist stuff and still somehow keep their balance. It's not about that. It's about, just connecting and transforming consistently. So let's see. Oh, and your sacred reminder, you're to observe the wisdom that presents for the gateway that you're in. Live freely in tune with the various systems of wellness. And of course, we're going to also practice the 7-day transformation. You can start that, obviously, if you have the book, you can read up on that and start trying to implement that throughout the month. And then that way, by the end, you're like, it's like a breeze. It's like you've already been doing it. It's a habit. It's something that you've already kind of been ingraining in yourself. Sacred movement is the manifestation of the divine in action. It is filled with the divine spirit of the Most High. The original sacred movement presents itself to us when a baby is in the womb and its mother and her stomach move a little as one stretches and pulls as it grows. When the new returning ancestor is born, we watch in fascination at the tiny one's dance of grace, at the ease, the calm stretch of movements of arms and legs and the whole body. This is truly the dance of life. This is so funny that I just read this, because I swear if you go to like the first videos I posted on this channel, it's like the least viewed video on this channel. It's my son stretching to wake up, and I remember being just so in awe of like his wake up process when he was like 8 days old or something like that, and he would just like stretch and like kind of look and then kind of not look, and he was like still kind of always curled up because that's how he'd been for the last 9 months of his life. And I bet just reminded me of this. It's like that's one of the first dances. And of course, also, when you feel your baby inside of you kicking, or when you hold your partner or your loved one's belly, I'm sure most of us have felt that moment under your hand. I remember the first time I felt it, it freaked me out. I was like 15 and was just not ready. I was not ready. It was just like this was just the most surreal experience. You know what I mean? Just to think about a human inside of somebody else. And I just, most of the women I knew were older. And so I just had never experienced a pregnancy around me, at that age. It was very crazy to me, but this is just such a beautiful way of saying. So that's the first dance of life is, when you just enter the world and you're learning to move and you just kind of stretch the way a baby does and you reach, their hands are always out reaching and trying to feel the air and trying to feel the world around them. Whether we do or do not create sacred movement in our lives depends on how we think, our attitudes, our traditions, our cultural expressions, our language, our state of wellness or disease. Thoughts can birth us into sacred movement, which causes us to perform life as a sacred creative dance that heals. There are sacred movements that arise out of many cultures, such as Tai Chi from China, yoga from India, capoeira from Brazil, Native American ceremonial dances from the tribes of Turtle Island. Sacred movement ushers the breath of the divine into us and makes our every step a prayer. Guys, that's so beautiful, thinking about that, especially in terms of like from a root working standpoint, where we, have that animism of applying spirit to everything we own, to, the kitchen, to the very tools we use in our kitchen, to that healing pot that we so cherish, to, that then applying that to our own body and, to our very steps, but the very way we move in our everyday life has that grace, so that when we take our each step of it's towards purpose, it is a prayer, it is of purpose towards our life and towards our spirit and our spirituality. So when we walk in harmony with the divine, our walk becomes sacred movement. When we jog or work at the gym with an attitude of prayer, this becomes sacred movement. So that also is beautiful in the sense that, it doesn't just have to be these movements. We don't just have to do the sacred womb yoga dance moves or, dance like Solange or whatever it is. To be sacred movement, you can be at the gym lifting weights, that's sacred movement. You can be an athlete of any high level sport, and that is a sacred movement. You can just be walking, that is sacred movement. You can be twerking, right? And that's sacred movement. It's that attitude of reverence, that attitude of self-body love, and that energy that you're putting into your movement of real self-confidence, not of just fishing for attention or likes or whatever it is that drives certain other, energetic standpoints that wouldn't be necessarily, I guess, sacred. But it's not up to other people to decide that, you know what I mean? It's up to you to honestly be able to read yourself and divine yourself and understand where you are with your body, your sexuality, your how you present yourself in that way. When we climb mountains, when we walk through valleys, hug a tree, playfully run after a laughing child in a prayerful state, we are in the midst of sacred movement. Sacred movement put to rhythm with a spirit of purpose and mission becomes sacred dance. As African people, we had a purpose stemming from our tradition in the form of birthing ceremonies, purification ceremonies, preparations for war, rites of passage ceremonies, marriages and funerals, and homecoming ceremonies. We use sacred dance to tell stories, give history lessons of our people's travels through time and space. Sacred dance is used to convey spirit and emotions when words are just not enough. Sacred movement and dance lift your spirit, inspire you to dance with divinity, heal your heart, nourish your body, enrich your life, and transform your woes. When she just said that about words are not enough, this also reminds me of it's important to do the sacred quilt, because the sacred quilt, the Sanab quilt, the freedom quilt, it's that is another tradition of when words are not enough, or when words may fail, or when it's like you need to remember this on another level. So it's like dance is one of those, but the quilt is like another form of that, of when words are not enough, utilizing an art form, a medium to express this message. So, sacred movement and dance lift your spirit, inspire you to dance with divinity, heal your heart, nourish your body, enrich your life, and transform your woes. Everyone, no matter the condition of their body temple, can perform sacred movements. Because when the legs don't work, we can dance with our arms. When we can't move our arms, we can dance with our head. When we can't dance with our head, we can dance with our eyes. If we cannot see, we can dance with our smile. And if the smile can't come through, we can simply dance with our heart. So next section is called the divination of the body members. The gift of the spiritual words you find in our ancient holy book, Pert Haru Gibar, the book of coming forth by day from night, indicates the divinity of our body temples. Every part of our temple is sacred. We are divine by nature, and we must appreciate ourselves so that our days on earth are vibrant and alive. Learn to appreciate each member of your body as you stretch, breathe, and dance into your sacred movements. When spoken aloud, these ancient affirmations for each body member will spiritually attune you to sacred movements. As you travel through the gateways of sacred movements, these ancient affirmations will help you continue to work on self. Call out these affirmations for empowerment of the body temple that you may awaken your dry bones and resurrect yourself. As you repeat these ancient affirmations, allow each one to become a step in your own sacred movement. This is divine choreography. Improvise and delight in the sacredness of your body temple as you affirm each organ's unique dance of life. Create your own dance of the body members and share this sacred movement in your sacred circle. So I actually, that's what the womb wellness journey dance is, I connected those movements from the book, but you can also connect from other sources of wellness, of just from your own source, to create these little dances of affirmation. Definitely, make them and share them. I think, a lot of people really like that. I made one of those videos. I made the womb wellness journey as a video. And I have, people who don't even watch the sister circle. They always leave a sweet comment on that one. And I was like, oh, that's so wonderful. I wish more people would do this one. Make your divine choreography, make one of these, empowering dances so that, somebody just wanting to move that sacred movement can also move with you. Or, write it up. I do that too. So anyway, I have one more that I just made up a week ago. I just randomly felt inspired, to make up this divine choreography. So I have it written down in my scheduler here for not next week, but I think the week after that is when we're going to do that. Create, and share this movement with your circle. Hold on. All right, this is the original text of the divination of the body members as it appears on the ancient Egyptian Kemetic text of the papyrus of Ani thousands of years ago. African supreme melanin-charged being that you are, look deep in the signs of our language and see what messages of interpretation you receive. So this is page 189, titled Affirmations for the Body Members. I am the knot within the tamarisk tree, beautiful of splendor more than yesterday. My hair is of new, the primordial waters. My face is of Ra, sun energy. My two eyes are of Het Haru, divine love. My two ears are of Apuat, opener of the ways of understanding. My nose is of Kent Sheps, indwelling ancestors. My two lips are of Anpu, the utterers who report to Tahuti, divine intelligence. My teeth are of Khepera, the transformer. My neck is of Ast, the divine. My two hands are of Numu, molder of form, Lord of Tattoo, place of stability. My forearms are of Net, strong forearm weaver. Lady of Sao, place in the Nile Delta where Net's shrine was established. My backbone is of Sut, stability. My phallus/vagina is of Asar/Ost, divinity. My reins, kidney, are of Lord Ladies of Karabah, region in the Delta, a place of defense. My chest inspires awe. My belly and my back are of Sekhmet, vital power. My buttocks are of the eyes of Heru. Watch your back. My hips and legs are of Nut, sky. My feet are of Ta, grounded, solid. My fingers and my toes are of the living Aritu, chakras, energy forces, symbols. Symbolism is the cobra, feminine principle, intuition. Not a body member of mine is without divinity. Tahuti protects my flesh entirely. I am Ra, solar force, every day. I shall not be seized by my arms, nor shall I be carried away by my hand, nor shall the Interu, spiritual guardians, shining ones, the dead ancestors, ancient ones, or any mortal bring harm unto me. I come forth advancing. I know my name. I am light. Seer of millions of years is my name. Traveling along the way of Heru, the light. All right, so that was again page 189. I thought that was such a powerful. I mean, it's we have to get the explanations because a lot of this is it's symbolic of the times and of the gods and of what that meant back then. But it is still very powerful in retrospect now in modern times. All right, finally, we're going to read. Still page 189. Throughout my life, it was dance that healed me. And then this week also will be focused. Let me see what time it is. Let me make sure. No, we only have 7 minutes. All right, we're gonna have to do the Adinkra and stuff probably tomorrow. Just because, yeah, I don't know. We'll see how fast I read this. When I was about 16, I went from riding my bike to studying dance in its many forms, and it became sacred medicine for me. I find that the divine creator and my ancestors speak through me with the most power when I do my spirit dancing. When I dance, I fend off the evil eye and keep it from attacking me. I shake off family wars, my children's growing pains, my love pains, stress, and bad attitudes. When I dance, I'm filled with gratitude for having found my healing mission at a young age. My ancestors fill me with serenity as they dance in me. When I dance to the drum, flying through space just like a free bird, I kick and spin and jump and twirl and reach up and grab my soul each and every time. Dancing is my medicine. Spirit dancing is and will always be an endless sweet nectar of delight. It is delicious and fulfilling, and I do it whenever the need rises up in me. Dance heals me like nothing else. Now, mind you, wheatgrass, spirulina, green juices, and sweat baths go very far in my book, but dance goes even farther. I can feel the Holy Spirit move through me when I dance. I can feel the universe and all her stars flow through me when I do my spirit dance. With dance, even if I trip over my feet and land on the floor, it does not matter, because when I dance, I can do no wrong. Because it isn't about the steps, it's about the spirit that absolutely fills me. When I raise my arms, the divine moves in me. When I kick my leg, the divine is working brilliantly through me. When I contract and release, my world is renewed. All the fresh new blood pumping through me carries away toxic thoughts and attitudes. Arteries clear up, opening me up to the greater possibilities. My nervous system gets eased enough to release pent-up stress. My lungs expand, and I breathe in fresh experiences. Just having fun, I wash my inner ocean and become new and clean and whole. I tell everybody to use dance as natural therapy, as a cultural, spiritual expression of divinity. I tell them to take an African dance, Brazilian dance, Haitian dance, any kind of dance to keep your inner vibrations in tune with the cosmos. All right, we're going to finish the rest of this is scheduled for next week, but we're going to start page 190 next week. But that is just to start us off this 15 to 30 minutes of dance. Do your fire breathing, which I forgot to do today. Do your fire breathing before you start. 50 to 200 fire breaths, or 300 actually, I think is what we're supposed to be on. So do 50 to 300. Don't make yourself be about to pass out. Just open up your lungs and get your head a little bit light and full of oxygen. And then, breathe deeply, put on some music. It can be traditional, it can be modern. Try switching it up from what you're used to, and have like a different playlist maybe for each time, and make a 15-minute again to 30-minute playlist depending on how much time you have, the level of exercise you're used to, and start there with sacred movements. Hopefully you're feeling really cleansed and ready to go after the sacred foods and drinking your smoothies. Hopefully maybe you got a little bit of that detox in over the weekend. I got a little bit in. I was able to eat, but I wasn't able to do the smooth move tea or anything. So I'm probably going to be doing this week while I'm doing the sacred movement, and see how it keeps going for me. But I'm feeling really good about any diet changes. I'm not being the strictest of the strict. I've been occasionally eating other things, but for the most part, I would say 90% of my diet has been the fruits and the vegetables, and following along with the diet in here. We're not like at live foods only, raw foods only, but we're working on making sure most of our diet is vegetables, and then adding some of the whole grains and the fruits and the other things with that. So yeah, I've been really enjoying it. And please post on Patreon, if you have any questions or you want to share anything, you can go to the community section and do that if you're donating $1 a month. And that's patreon.com/sacred sister circle. All right, you guys, that's all the time I have for today. But I'll see you all next time. And until then, may your ancestors and spirit guides be with you at every crossroads. Thank you so much for joining me. And I'll see you next Monday at 8 a.m. Pacific time, Black people time.